This review has been made possible by Chevrolet of Naperville. As you know, Chevy has tons of brand new cars and trucks available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to ChevroletofNaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2021 Cadillac Escalade Sport. Up front is a 6.2 liter V8, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am so excited to be driving this here Escalade because there are so many bells and whistles. This isn't even the top trim of the Escalade. The Sport is a mid-range, but there are so many bells and whistles and fun things to play with. I'm excited to share that with you guys today. Before we get on with the rest of the video, I have a website, ZackBradle.com, if you'd like to read my blog for behind-the-scenes posts on what I'm filming next, as well as you could buy merch or submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me, if that is something that you'd like. So please go check out ZackBradle.com. But let's get back to that 6.2 liter V8 making 420 horsepower. Well, it is an L83 V8. They've used this in like the Silverado and Tahoe and tons of other vehicles that Chevy makes for quite some time. It's a pretty worked through engine, and 420 horsepower is pretty good. However, as of the making of this video, they just recently released or announced the Cadillac Escalade V, which will be supercharged, but this is not that, of course. I like the power. It's a GM V8. Not sure what else I could say. One interesting thing about the engine is actually not about this engine itself, but this is the first time that Cadillac has offered a diesel since the 1980s with the Oldsmobile diesels that they would put into some Cadillacs. So yes, you can spec this with a Duramax diesel if you would like a diesel Cadillac Escalade. Like I said, paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, it is nice and quiet. I have not even noticed it shifting nearly at all, which is what you want out of a luxury vehicle, and boy, is this a luxury vehicle. Last but not least, the Escalade is four-wheel drive, and I did have to use it today. Out here on the test track, it's not been plowed, and it is actually still currently snowing, so there was a couple of instances I had to toss it into four, and it's been handling this terrain beautifully. As you might be able to tell, I rushed through the mechanics of the car a little bit quicker than I normally do because I want to get to the interior, because oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Well, in front of me, I have a screen. The interesting thing about the interior of the Escalade is the fact that the screens go almost the complete width of the vehicle, at least within the driver's eyesight, which I love. I'm going to be talking about the gauges at a different time that I talk about the center screen. However, they are technically connected, but one thing at a time. In front of me, I have my tachometer to the bottom left, my fuel to the bottom right, my speed up at the center, but then I get this beautiful front-facing camera. Awesome frames per second, 60 or higher. It looks like a movie, and I absolutely love driving around with this little screen. It was very helpful maneuvering the Escalade out of Chevy of Naperville's lot. There was a Camaro behind me, and there was a Silverado in front of me, so I made sure that I didn't hit them, and this screen was very, very helpful. I can also adjust the radio station. That comes up on the screen off to the left. And overall, I just love the resolution of this screen. I love it, love it, love it. Up above me, I do have a heads-up display giving me my speed, and we'll talk about how to adjust those settings here in a second. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my cruise control options. Some Cadillac Escalades do come with the Super Cruise feature from Cadillac, meaning it's self-driving, or Cadillac's version of hands-free motoring. It's not really self-driving. It won't do everything, but it'll do a fair amount, and that is very nice. This particular one does not have that, but you can spec that. I also have my heated steering wheel and my conversation enhancement, meaning that there are microphones behind me that will actually amplify conversation so I can get in on the talks too. Off to the right of the steering wheel, I have my music adjustment, skip track, and volume, pretty typical there. And I like the overall look and feel of the steering wheel itself. It has the updated, more slim Cadillac logo in the center, and it all feels brand new. Off to the left, I do have my trip odometer, distance, average MPG, and things like that. However, this is a touch screen, so you can also adjust your heads-up display and I can adjust my gauges. So if I hit gauge, it will actually give me more traditional gauges in the center, which is fantastic. So then now I have my speedometer, tachometer, radio, and four-wheel drive settings like a more normal vehicle. That is very, very nice. I can also switch it to my map, which is great too. I can have my entire gauge cluster be my navigation, which is fantastic. And then of course I have my heads-up display adjustments. I love this little panel. It's nearly seamless with the rest of the screens, which is just fantastic. Down below, I have my controls for my four-wheel drive settings. So I have auto, 2 high, and 4 high, as well as off-road mode, and I get my mode buttons. So I have 4 different modes: Tour, Sport, Off-road, and Tow/Haul. I, of course, am keeping it in Tour, because I like to be a comfy boy. I also have my height adjustments. So the Cadillac Escalade is fitted with air suspension, so you can raise and lower the vehicle when you want to. Here is a time-lapse sped up version of the vehicle raising and lowering. It doesn't go this fast, but for the sake of your time and mine, we had to do it. Then I have my power parking brake and my trailer brake adjusters. And then on the door, I have my heated and ventilated seat options, lock and unlock power mirrors, power windows, and my memory seats, as well as my get out mode that Cadillac is so good at doing. The rear view mirror is also a camera itself. Now, this was debuted on the 2020 Chevy Corvette, the C8, but this is one of my favorite features in new cars, and so useful. Again, it feels like I'm in a movie. Moving into the center, let's pull over so I can talk about the center infotainment screen. All right, time to play with the Cadillac infotainment system in the 2021 Cadillac Escalade Sport. Well, let's go home here, and we have a bunch of very interesting options. The first thing that jumps out, and I'm a little annoyed with this, is that the Amazon Alexa is blue when everything else is this nice silver. They look like emblems almost. I really like that look, and I feel like the Amazon Alexa sort of ruins that ever so slightly, but that's okay. So let's take a look at some of these. We have ambient lighting, something very interesting. Let's see if they name the colors anything cool. You could turn it on and off, of course, and we could do red, orange, green, light blue, dark blue, purple, silver, and gold, which is very, very nice. You can also link it to the drive mode, something that the Chevy Camaro does. So when you put it into sport mode, everything turns red. I really like that look. You can also have them alternate, which is nice, and you could, of course, change the brightness. Unfortunately, because I have this during the day, can't really show you that ambient lighting, but you'll have to believe me, it's there. We can also go to camera. This is awesome. So this is actually my front-facing view, and as I turn the wheel, it also turns the trajectory for the front. Very, very nice there. I can also go to wide. I can also go to overhead. This is a sort of front-facing down. As you can see, I'm turning the steering wheel. And then we get these sides as well. Those are my wheels. You can see, there they are, turning, which is very, very nice. And you get this nice sort of bird's eye view as well. I wish that you could make that bigger. I wish I could get that full screen, that sort of bird's eye view. But now we can take a look at the rear wheels. So this is my rear wheels, rear overhead. If you're backing up, trying to hook up to a trailer, very nice, wide, and then normal point of view. Oh, here it is. Okay. So as you can see, this is my Cadillac Escalade. This is where I am sitting. Now, unfortunately, they did not color match the Escalade on the screen to the Escalade in the car, something that like BMW does. So it's black when this Escalade is white, but that's okay. And you do get this little sort of boxiness under the car. But this is the car. This is the Escalade, which is really, really cool. They even get this feature at all. It is a feat of engineering and software to try to stitch all of these together. I also have a trailer. I can get a zoomed in image if I have a trailer hitch to get that exactly right on. And then I can turn the lines on and off and things like that. Tons of sweet, sweet camera operations in here, which is fantastic because the Escalade is not a small vehicle. And so I need all the help I can get. Let's X out of here. And we also have parking sensors. Alexa, my Cadillac. This is basically like scheduled maintenance and roadside assistance, things like that. I can scroll over here. I do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I also have users. I have my Wi-Fi hotspot, my rear climate, vehicle information. So I can look at my air filter life, my front and rear brake pad life, traction, stability, engine hours, time, date. Go over here to coolant temperature, trans fluid temperature, trailer brake, battery voltage, oil pressure, my off-road pitch and yaw, my average speed, a timer, vehicle economy, oil life, beautiful, tire pressure, tons of sweet things. I also have phone options and I have my navigation options. Beautiful, colorful, really love this. And for an OEM navigation system, not Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, this looks fantastic. I absolutely love this. So many OEM navigation systems look like they were designed in 1998, and this doesn't. This looks very modern. And look at the refresh rate on the screen. Absolutely fantastic. I can chuck it, I can throw it, I can do whatever I want. I also, of course, have music. Now it is muted because of the video and because I don't want a copyright strike, but again, that looks very nice. And coming back home, this is the regular screen that you can have up. Something I also want to mention is that this comes with the AKG audio technology system, which is brand new for 2021 from Cadillac, and it does not have 20 speakers, does not have 25 speakers. It has 36 speakers. 36! All said and done, I know that was very long-winded for the infotainment system, but I absolutely love it. Plenty of stuff to do in here, plenty of cool little features, and I think those rear cameras and front-facing cameras are really a home run. Down below that, we get a vent and our climate controls. Very, very nice here. And something that I love about the climate controls, of course, you can do a bunch of different things, and the recirculating is actually an SUV and not just a car. I love the fact that the fan speed has a little tree. I love that little tree. I don't know why, I just think it looks cool. Moving on to the center console itself, I have my auto holding brake, my automatic start-stop on and off, and my lane keep assist. Then I have the shifter itself. This is a newer shifter from Cadillac, and I really do love the look of it. I think it looks and feels great. And then down below that, I have some driver infotainment stuff, my controls for the center screen. I know the center screen is a touch screen, but you can also control it here, which is nice, and home. And interestingly, my hazards is actually found down here. Sort of interesting there. Off to the right, I have USB-C as well as a traditional USB port. And then I have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test. And the bottle somewhat fits. However, it doesn't sit all the way down on the bottom, but I have been driving around with it and it hasn't been making noise and it hasn't fallen over. So, I'm in a good mood. Let's give the Escalade a pass. Why not? Then we have a little cubby, and then we get a center console. Two more USB ports in here, a USB-C and a traditional USB, as well as I have a switch to turn on and off the plug. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, and some more storage. The seats are very, very comfortable. I am pleasantly enjoying them. This particular Escalade does not have the massaging seats. However, that is something that can be spec'd if that's what you would like. But speaking of seats, we have two more rows of seating. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2021 Cadillac Escalade Sport. A couple of things to note back here. First of all, I do have slide out cup holders down here, and they look they fit the big friggin' bottle. Look at that. That is fantastic, and I love how they slide out. I also get two USB ports down there, and I do get a wall outlet as well. That is what I can control in the center console that we just talked about. The seats are nice and comfortable. They have the nice little Cadillac V logo on them, and they are heated. I'm starting to enjoy the heated seat. I only turned it on just before I turned the camera on, so it's not quite warm yet, but I imagine that they're spectacular. I do also have third row seating. We'll talk about that when we hop around the back and talk about the cargo space. But before we do that, I do want to say I enjoy this nice panoramic sunroof, especially on a day like today. It was snowing today, and that snow has melted on the roof, so it's made these really cool patterns in the water. And that's it, but I have plenty of space back here. It should go without saying. Tons of knee room, tons of headroom, plenty perfect across the board, and I really, really like that. Let's take a look at the back, and we'll talk about the third row of seating with that too, because there's a fun little party trick with it, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so around the back of the 2021 Cadillac Escalade. Now, I do have a button just to open the rear glass. I absolutely love that, especially if you have pets back here or anything that might roll around. You can just open up the glass. They've been doing this for the last 15 or so years, but still cool that they include it. But then you can kick it, and the actual rear tailgate will open. Power tailgate, of course. This is an Escalade. What are you talking about? So this was the party trick that I was talking about. So you can actually raise them from the dead. You can raise and lower the third row of seats from the flip of one button, which is very, very cool, very, very nice. We also do have this little storage area, not much going on down there. And we get a good look at the AKG speaker system. So that's where that AKG system is. Tons of space back here for cargo. Now, not as big as a Suburban, of course, but still plenty of great, great space. And I absolutely love it here in the Cadillac. And we take a step back, hit the button. Nice and elegant on the way down. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is a new body style for 2021, and I love it. I think it looks very, very good. I think it looks very elegant, and it definitely has that Cadillac bravado about it, which of course I love. I think overall this looks very, very classy. And so that ties in with my final thoughts. I had prepared a complete metaphor for this car. I was going to say, picture yourself going to a basketball game. The Chevy Tahoe is getting tickets up in the nosebleeds. The GMC Yukon is like, mid-seats, but an Escalade is sitting courtside. Everyone is seeing the same basketball game, but it just depends on how nice your seats are, because the Cadillac Escalade, GMC Yukon, and Chevy Tahoe are all based off of the same vehicle. That was going to be my comparison, but now actually driving the new Escalade, compared to the new Tahoe that I recently drove, this might as well not even be in the same stadium. This is a night and day difference between the Tahoe, not only in features, which this has so many awesome, fantastic features, I can't even name them all without this video being an hour long, but the seating position in here. This full center console is more luxury car. This is my area, that's your area, where older Tahoes and such had bench seats and maybe a little fold down center console, maybe a fixed one, but nothing too special beyond that. The sound quality in here, I don't really talk about it. And yes, in videos I do yell a lot. I'm Irish and Italian with a little bit of German in there. I'm a loud person by design. Even driving on snow, I can whisper and you can still hear me perfectly. You're not hearing much road noise, and even this whole time I've been talking, I've been driving the car. So no, this is not an up-badged Tahoe, and honestly, in my opinion, this is one of the best luxury vehicles I've driven. I mean, really, truly. If you want to talk about nice, if you want to talk about elegant, if you want to talk about luxurious, you're talking about the Cadillac Escalade. I cannot wait to get my hands on older generations of the Escalade, but for now, I'm very, very happy with this one. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Chevy of Naperville for letting me take out their Escalade. This is fantastic. I finally have the Escalade name under my belt. And that is all thanks to Chevy of Naperville. If you're looking for a new Chevy product or a used vehicle, they have a Charger on the lot right now. They have a Pontiac Solstice I just filmed that's on the lot right now. Tons of awesome cars. Chevy of Naperville is awesome themselves. I cannot thank them enough. They've been absolutely awesome through this whole process. And again, I am so thankful to have the Escalade under my belt. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.